Hello. The results of the Ecclesiastical Census of 1851 came as something of a wake-up call to the authorities. It revealed the Church of England no longer represented the majority of worshippers in England and Wales, outnumbered collectively by nonconformist groups. Around 60% of the population did not attend a Sunday service on Census Day, and there was a serious shortage of places for those who did wish to attend, most notably in the growing industrial towns and cities. This big picture was not reflected everywhere. There were significant differences between rural and urban areas, as well as marked regional variations. In southwest and eastern England, more than 70% of the population attended a service on Census Day. The lowest attendances across all denominations were recorded in London and the north of England. In the larger towns, only 25% of the population attended a service. In general, the larger the town, the lower the percentage attendance. There are external factors to consider. Census Day, 30th of March, was wet and windy, and in sparsely populated counties, Northumberland is a good example, most people walked to worship, often several miles. The lowest Church of England attendances were recorded in the north of England, in the far southwest, where Bible Christians and Wesleyan Methodism predominated, the Fenland of eastern England, the Weald and Sussex Downs, and in Wales, where Calvinistic Methodists were the major group, particularly in the more rural areas, followed by the Congregationalists, otherwise known as Independents, and the Baptists. Roman Catholicism was largely concentrated in the north of England, but boosted elsewhere, in cities such as Birmingham, by recent Irish immigration. Among nonconformists, Methodism was dominant in the industrial North and Midlands. Congregationalists were the largest nonconformist group in London. Quakers were represented in most areas, but mainly in northern England. The strongest support for the Church of England was in small parishes with a single large town, arguably more manageable and with greater social cohesion than large parishes with a dispersed settlement pattern. In those areas, with lots of individual farms, isolated hamlets and several small townships, people were more likely to be self-reliant, act as individuals and have less deference for authority. Nonconformism was arguably less about religion, it was still Christianity, more about making a deliberate, more independent choice. A substantial number of leading business families of the day were drawn to nonconformism, where there was an opportunity to be actively involved. Quakers, much persecuted in the 17th century, banned from university and certain professions such as law and the military, and with their refusal to pay tithes to the church making farming difficult, entered commerce, banking and trade with success. Quaker families founded Barclays and Lloyd's banks. Chocolate manufacturers Fry's in Bristol, Cadbury's in Birmingham and Rowntree's in York were owned by Quakers. Ironmaster Abraham Darby, industrialist William Hesketh Lever, Viscount Leverhulme, were born into Quaker families. Thomas Cook, founder of the travel agency, was a Baptist. Textile entrepreneur Jedediah Strutt and potter Josiah Wedgwood were Unitarians. Strutt built a Unitarian chapel at Belper in Derbyshire in 1788. US-born Samuel Courtauld, who came from Huguenot ancestry, became an enthusiastic Unitarian. Although there had been challenges earlier, the Protestant Reformation of the 16th century became the trigger for further religious experimentation and nonconformist views. We can broadly separate nonconformism into old dissent, groups emerging in the 16th and 17th centuries, including Baptists, Congregationalists, Presbyterians, Unitarians and Quakers, and new dissent, mainly Methodists and Bible Christians, appearing in the 18th century. How did these groups arise? How were they organised? Who were the leading lights? And what were their guiding principles? I shall begin with the Baptists next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available. Or you can click on the rose window over my shoulder.